Welcome to Friday night's video in our second master series. I do believe this is the 59th video in our second master series, the 8th video on our basic processors, and the 7th video on equalization. So I really hope that in the videos that have been on here so far that we really talked about the equalizer, the most important things that are going to make you that next level master audio engineer. Besides those things, there's another aspect of equalization that seems fairly obvious, but it's something that just doesn't get addressed a lot. This is besides your opinion about how to get things done that we talked about very thoroughly to really help you get you over that hurdle, is uniqueness, individuality. You know, this is another concept that I cannot teach you, that you have to experiment with, and it's situational. You know, a prime example of this is that I've got this reggae song, and with what's going on, it was recorded live, what was happening with it. I mean, I went in there and I high pass filtered the heck out of this thing. I did some attenuating and boosting in areas that I might not have after I've done my other EQ once I got it in the mix, and I boosted it up here in the high end, way up for some reason. And by itself, this track didn't sound all that good by the time I get done with it. But in the mix, it added this uniqueness, or this flavor for this one song, or for the whole album. You might want to do something like that. And the flip side, or another example of that, is that you have that same situation to where, you've got this song and you boost the EQ up over here, or you attenuate it over here and boost it right over in here or something where it normally isn't. And it adds this different vibe sound to this that isn't overbearing, like it's just horrible, but with the complement of instruments, this can have two sides. First of all, it just added some unique vibe to this thing that's very unique, that gives this one song this really cool thing. Or just for this whole album, you might want to record in that way, or do the work on it like that. Or you've got a situation to where you've got you've got a certain complement of instruments that for some reason that the vocalist sounds good like that. Once you've got the mix done, you've gone back and you're looking at things, you're experimenting, and all of a sudden you come up with this thing, you're like, I know that's weird, bro, but with the complement of instruments, this sounds great. I mean, it sounds so cool, and it's really unique sounding, and it's got this really kind of cool vibe, and off you go. That is always a gamble. Anytime you do anything like that, it's a gamble, no doubt about it. But that is part of that next level of you being able to do things like that comfortably. Does that make sense? You being able to go, no, I can do something cool or unique, and be comfortable with my decision of making a good decision, that is something that is cool, and not, dying in front of the mixing board trying to do something cool and unique, and just making a decision. I'm going to do something different here, and again, so it just kind of, gives it a little bit different vibe or flavor, because the equalizer can do the immense things like that to a sound. And we had talked about that you do your equalization on a track, then you do your equalization with that track in a group, and then that group, you might, you got equalization on the whole mix itself. And at any one of those phases, you might be taking steps backwards to make things complement each other. And it's like, sometimes you got this EQ work you've done on this thing, and you've just spent hours, and it's just awesome. And all of a sudden you realize you get in the mix and you got to do this ridiculously high pass filtering on it, and all of a sudden it sounds great in the mix, and you're just thinking, duh, why does that all sound great to me in the mix? Because that track by itself now sounds horrible, but in the mix it sounds great. In the subgroup or in the main mix, now it sounds awesome. And do not be surprised when you run into that, because it can be very true. And if that's what it takes to get it, that's what it takes. You went back and checked it. That makes you taking those steps, becoming that next level master audio engineer. So besides that, you want to focus on the meat and potatoes of most of the basic things we've talked about and experimenting with them, getting more proficient with them, fine tuning your understanding and wisdom and knowledge of them, and get familiar with your tools, and honing your abilities with that and honing your opinion. And those are the biggest things that you'll run into. The other side, the flip side of that, is your opinion when it comes to doing other unique creative things, just to add a little bit different vibe to things. That's a whole nother thing that you really want to focus on. I mean, you really want to sit down and check it out, and think about it. If you get some practice mixes or something like that, equalize it, the way you would like the main vocalist or whatever, and then go screw around with it. Sit down and go, well, how could I make the vocalist sound a little different or something? The guitarist and the bass sound a little bit different, the drummer sound a little different than I normally would, I think I did a good job. Now I'm going to screw that up and try to come up with something unique and different sounding that just got this whole different vibe. That right there is a huge experimentation on your part, because sometimes that kind of stuff breaks through the wall, bro. You just sit there and all of a sudden you do something like that and it's like it's a hit, bam. And it's like, why? What did he do? It's like, well, he screwed around with it. He went through all those different instruments, re-EQ'd it a little bit differently, did some, took a step out on a limb and messed around with it, did it uniquely different in a little bit of a way, in a way you wouldn't think would be normal, and you came out with this really cool effect that actually enhanced the song, and it was like it actually, gave the whole song a whole different flavor and vibe that, crashed through the charts. And that can be questionable. Does that make sense? And you always going out on a limb with that, but the more you experiment with that and try to see equalization that way, besides just doing a good job, there's situations where I get into where it's like, no, I just want to do a good job on it and I'm done. And there's other situations like, no, I got this production, I've got, it's a 6-piece band, and I'm going to do something wild with this to where it's going to come out sounding a little different, bro. It just is, and you got to get the, sometimes it takes a little, getting together with the producers or the band or whatever, if you're not just doing it yourself, and brainstorming about it, experimenting, brainstorming and checking it out and trying different things until you come up with something that's just kind of cool, that just gives it a whole different vibe. That's a whole nother level for you to be experimenting with, but it is very true. So I hope that, and you can do that with any of the things we've talked about, but first and foremost, focus on the meat and potatoes doing a really good job. But keep that in mind, because that can be a whole new world to come out with some really wild productions and really, do something cool and different, with a very powerful tool that can do that. You get in there and do that with a production that you can change the whole sonic landscape of what's going on with an equalizer, and cause all kinds of different things, equalizing things you wouldn't think you normally would equalize an instrument like that, or all the instruments in a production that just changed the whole production, and you realize what a powerful tool it is to accomplish things, making things blend together or counteract against each other or contradict each other, and it's like, and it's blending and fusing and, and opposing each other, and with equalization different, different done differently, and affecting their sonic flavor and textures and things like that, attenuating and boosting different aspects of them to achieve different type of effects, in some certain type of a song or production. It's a huge, powerful tool that once you understand that and you get it in your head, that you are well on your way to becoming that next level master audio engineer. So I really hope you enjoyed. We were talking about some of the things we're going to do with the equalizer and what we really should be doing with the equalizer. And in the next couple videos, we're going to talk about the equalizers themselves and discuss their parameters, the static EQ and the dynamic EQ, so that we are very familiar with them and have a very good understanding of them, so that when we're doing any of this stuff with these equalizers, that we are very proficient and knowledgeable about the equipment that we have. So peace, self-love. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.